Hello everybody, son Adelaja here. I'm back talking about reconstructing Nigeria and Nigerians today. And I want to talk about the fact that you see, every nation can become great because all nations are equally wealthy. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, that we shouldn't be discouraged as Africans and as Nigeria because we have enough resources, we have enough wealth to be able to build a competitive nation and at least a developed and civilized country. Can you imagine waking up in the morning? I'm just going to give this illustration for you, and this might be able to communicate what I'm trying to say. So imagine wake up this morning and in your account, in your bank account, you are credited with $86,400. $86,400. However, the only condition is that in the next 24 hours, you must spend it. So if you don't have ideas on how to spend this and what would you do with your money and with your life, you don't have ideas, if you don't have creativity, if you don't have the skills, no matter the amount of wealth that is given to you, you'll not be able to do anything with it. So, but if you already have the plans, the projects, the skills, and the specialty, and the know-how, and you have a vision, and you have understanding of what you want to do, as soon as the money is coming, the only problem you are going to have is that the money is not enough. But if you don't have ideas, if you don't have what to do with it, if you don't have creativity, if you don't have vision, if you are not a visionary, if you don't lead vision, you'll not be able to do anything with it. But like in the Bible, this illustration is like manna. You know, manna is given to them only for the day. So in the next 24 hours, it disappears. And another one will come the next day. So the same way here. So you wake up in the morning, you've got 86,400 in your account, and then you use it that day, you wake up, another one comes there. But if you don't use the one that was there yesterday, it disappears. But another one will come tomorrow, but if you don't use it also, it will disappear. But what is this 86,400? This is the amount of seconds, time God gives us all in a day. If you are going to count the 24 hours in seconds, it's going to come to 86,400 seconds. And that 86,400 seconds is supposed to be converted into goods and services, into products, into ideas, into creativity, into productivity, into creation, into products that could be monetized and exchanged for money. But when you don't do anything, and you don't have ideas, you don't have vision, you don't have creativity, you don't have skills to convert these things, and you don't have vision of what to do with it, it's just lost. It's like you don't have anything, because by the time you wake up in the morning, the thing is gone until another one comes. And every day God is giving us this same amount of wealth. This is exactly the amount of wealth God gives to each and every person, and not just a country, but each and every person on a daily basis, irrespective of your country of residence. God has made the provision for every man on earth to be equally endowed with this wealth. And this wealth is called time. So in actual fact, every human being is equally wealthy according to God's divine providence. And not only that, but all nations are also equally wealthy. But it's about how much you have developed yourself, how much quality you have put in yourself, how much development you have put in yourself, how much skills have you developed to be able to use to convert every second this amount of money that God is endowed you with. This is because every nation also is equally endowed, because in every nation of the world, this amount of wealth also is freely given. The wealth I'm referring to, of course, is the wealth of time every second, but not just in individuals, but in the country also. The country also has, all countries of the world have 24 hours to spend, and they can use that 24 hours to harness their people, their population, to creativity, to productivity. And that is what determines poverty or wealth of nations. Those countries that have been able to harness that 24 hours to develop their people, to develop skills in them, and to motivate them to productivity and to production, they are the ones who are wealthy. But the countries that are getting the 86,400 seconds a day, and they are not harnessing the resources of their people, they are not mobilizing their people into creativity and productivity, they are the ones that are poor. So every country is equally wealthy. It is the only, it is this wealth is the only wealth that God has given to everybody. There are other wealth, but this is the fundamental wealth that God has given to everybody and every nation equally. Everybody that is born on the surface of the earth has this wealth, and every nation that exists on the surface of the earth has this same amount of wealth as well. Doesn't matter where they are located, whether they're in Africa or they're in Asia or they're in Europe or they're in America. It is one of the only wealth that is more valuable than human resources. It's about the only wealth that is more valuable than the human resources. Human resources depend on the people that you have, but even that human resources has to be developed. That human resources has to be enhanced, and that is what determines if the nation is poor or great. The resource of time, though, is the ultimate wealth. Time is the ultimate wealth for any individual and for any country. So any country may have the kind of development that they want, depending on how they have been able to maximize time and they are able to use time. Now you can understand why Nigeria is so poor, why Africa is so poor, because we don't maximize time, we don't value time, and we don't see time as anything. Now we pay more attention to natural resources and mineral resources like oil, gas, timber, coal, gold, diamond, iron, aluminium, lead, land, water, air, and human resources. But the wealth of time is the invisible wealth that will allow you to be able to, take advantage of all these things that we call natural resources. All of these natural resources are freely abundant also in nature and could be used to turn any country into a prosperous country if properly harnessed. However, but time with all of these resources mean little or nothing without the proper use of the wealth of time. A country could be full of all these natural resources and human resources, but if that country fails to understand and make proper use of time, to discipline its people to maximize time, to produce something in every second and every minute that is passing in a day, that country will remain poor and it will remain underdeveloped. That is why the resource of time is one of the greatest resources in the world. It was even reported that the amount of mineral resources that is in one country alone, not even to the whole of Africa, one country alone, the country of Congo, is more than any. It's 24 trillion. 24 trillion is bigger than any economy in the world. It's bigger than the American economy. So if this amount of wealth is in one country alone, and can you imagine the amount of wealth, natural resources in other countries, but without the meticulous attitude to time, without the ability to harness time and to take advantage of time and to convert time, Congo will still remain as poor as it is. Africa will still remain as poor as it is, because the richest countries in the world are those who have been able to harness and the wealth of time to their advantage. They don't waste time in the West. Time means money. People are even paid hourly in some countries, and if you are not working and you are just wasting time in the West, you will not survive it. But in Africa, people just waste time anyhow. The nations that are regarded as developed countries are those who have been able to convert the wealth of time into a high productivity and a high productive citizens. That's why they have high GDP. That's why they have a high human development index. That is why they have high educational standard and world-class industry, because they made their people. They have taught them productivity. They have taught them to be able to take advantage of every second and every minute. They have been able to build a system whereby every citizen is rushing to go to work and do something with every minute they have. And as long as they are doing something with every minute, there is productivity that minute. There are services being produced that minute. And there is GDP growth that minute. But in our country, maybe only in my country, for example, only about 10% or 20% of the population are really engaged, working consciously, taking advantage of the time every second, trying to produce something every second. I don't even think that we have more than 5% of people in our country that does that. A country is referred to a first world country because that country has been able to use the time they have wisely, converting time. So conversion of time is one of the great elements of economic development and building a great nation. So if we want to reconstruct Nigeria and Nigerians, we must reconstruct our people by changing our attitude to time. And the way we relate to time is what will determine what kind of country we're able to build. Those are the kind of countries that value time, they are the ones who have the time to go through the procedures, to develop their technology, to develop their infrastructure, to develop their economy, and to develop their political system. Time is the greatest resource in the world. It is the resource from which all other resources come from. No infrastructure will exist in any nation if the citizens of the nation have not invested time building it, going through the process. It is what every nation does with the resource of time on a daily basis that they have. That 86,400, what they do with it on a daily basis with as many people as possible, that determines how developed that nation will become. So the slow rate of development in most African countries, and Nigeria in particular, could attest to the fact that Africans do not know how to invest time and convert it into products for economic growth and national prosperity. So the underdevelopment and high rate of poverty that we see in any country, and in my country in particular, is as a result of the poorly educated citizens, or the poor work of the country and the leadership of the country to wake up the citizens and to make the citizens to be responsible for every minute of their day. That is a proof that that country has undervalued time. And because of the undervalue, if you undervalue time, you will undervalue money. And when you undervalue money, you come to poverty. So if every citizen of Nigeria will show the same diligence for time as the Japanese do, we will become a prosperous country. If every citizen of Nigeria will show the same diligence to time as the Chinese do, we become a prosperous country. If we show the same diligence in relation to time as Europeans do, we become a prosperous country. It will be quick and fast. We will move from third world country to the first world country. So every country is equally wealthy. But how do they convert their time is what determines great nations or poor nations. For the love of God, church and nation. Peace.